Well, good morning and welcome to 755 Live, about 5 minutes of what Jesus said. And you can find these soundbite versions of the commands of Jesus at our weekday Bible plan at bible.today.church. Some helpful resources there just to help us to make the Bible part of our daily lives and to help us to do what Jesus said to do, which was to go make disciples, teaching them to obey all the things that I commanded you. How can we teach others the commands of Jesus if we don't know them and if we don't obey them ourselves? That's what these sound bites are for. If this is meaningful to you, it really helps, and I would greatly appreciate it if you like this, if you share this on social media, if you comment and say hello, good morning, James, glad to see you watching today. Today's Jesus said is pray for more helpers. Yesterday we talked about the fields being white unto harvest. Today we're looking at another command where Jesus told us to have compassion on the crowds like he did and to pray for more helpers. This soundbite comes from Matthew 9:37 and 38. We're also going to read from Luke 10:2. And in Matthew 9, Jesus had just looked at the crowds and commented that they were like lost sheep without a shepherd, and so he had compassion on them. And it was in that context that he said this, Matthew 9:37. He said to his disciples, "The harvest is great, but the workers are few. So pray to the Lord, who is in charge of the harvest. Ask him to send more workers into his fields." The harvest is people who need God, those who are lost, like sheep without a shepherd. Jesus was moved by seeing them. He was moved with compassion. But he didn't say pray for the lost sheep. He said to pray for workers, pray for helpers, to lead them to follow Jesus. Pray to the Lord who is in charge of the harvest. Ask him to send more workers into the fields. You notice he didn't say ask them to go stay in the barn and try to attract people in. No, he said pray that God would send workers into the fields where the harvest is. Pray for more helpers. In Luke 10, Jesus sent out the 72 in pairs into different communities to preach the good news of the kingdom. And after he gave instructions to them in Luke 10:2, he said the harvest is great, but the workers are few. So pray to the Lord who is in charge of the harvest. Ask him to send more workers into his fields. The Bible says in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. Jesus didn't give this command just once. Pray for more helpers. Pray for helpers in the harvest. This Luke 10:2 passage has become a part of my daily prayer life. In fact, I have an alarm set on my phone that goes off at 10:02 every morning so that it will remind me to stop and pray for helpers. Pray for more help in the harvest, because that's where Jesus told us to go. He didn't say sit still, because you can't make disciples without going into the harvest. Pray for more helpers. The harvest is plentiful. There are plenty of people who need Jesus. So what does praying for more helpers look like? Well, I think one of the questions we need to ask, am I one of those helpers? Are you one of those helpers? Are we actually in the harvest, having compassion on the crowds? Are you praying for more helpers to lead into the harvest and to lead people to Jesus. That's what our focus should be. Jesus said, pray for more helpers. How can we put that into action, practice, or action? I made up a word there. How can we put that into action today?